Okay, today is the 25th of June, and this is the Tarot Process, part 24. I was going to talk about numerology, but I had two questions I want to deal with, but rather than have to keep it short to make space for the numerology, I'm going to do numerology next. Because two people left comments, and I read the comments and I thought I'll remember who sent that, but I've forgotten. So, and I can't find them in the comments, but you know who you are. So the first one has to do with, the second one has to do with our knights or pages messengers, and I'll get to that. But somebody wanted to know about Temperance in the 8th position in a Celtic Cross. So this is about, and also other major trumps there. So I wanted to deal with Temperance in the 8th position. So the 8th position shows the influence of other people. And we all know other people. Some of them are close to us, others are strangers or acquaintances. But we all have some experience of other people. And we know that other people can be friendly, unfriendly, helpful, deliberately difficult. They can be kind, considerate, compassionate. You know, you've got all sorts of people that you know. So you already know about the influence of other, or the influence that other people can have in your life or in your discussions with them, let's say. So with the 8th position in a Celtic Cross, it shows the influence of other people. So you already have a list in your mind about, okay, this card can show people are being friendly, helpful, deliberately difficult, whatever it happens to be. And so you turn the card and it tells you what you can expect from other people. Are they going to cooperate with you so that you can, again, it depends what the question is, but let's say it's a question about a relationship. So are other people going to maybe support you or take the other person's point of view, or the marriage partner's point of view, let's say? Or are they going to try to cause a problem for you? Because some people do. Some people like to go around causing problems. And you already know, you've got ideas already about people and how they behave and what their influence can be. So it's not like you turn the 8th position, you've got to begin from scratch. You already know an awful lot about people. So you turn the card and you take your cue from the card to get an idea of whether people are going to be useful or not, generally useful, whether they're going to make the situation better or worse. And you know what better means when you know what the question is, right? So, and you know what worse means when you know what the question is. So Temperance. Temperance, it can represent transformation of some kind of sort. So if the card is upright, let's say the default position is, if the card is upright, it's a good influence. If it's upside down, it's either people promise to do things but they can't, or people promise but they really don't mean it. And again, you would know which it is depending on the card and depending on the other cards that have come up. So with Temperance, it's transformative. It's old alchemy, where you took lead, and which is common metal and not that valuable, and turn it into gold, which is valuable. So it's the idea of, you take something that's kind of run-of-the-mill or ordinary or normal, and you turn it into something really valuable. So if Temperance is in the 8th position, other people are going to help you, the questioner, turn something mundane and normal into something valuable. So it's a good influence, we can say, because of they're going to encourage you maybe to take the high road, or to to behave better, or to not give in to jealousy, or not give in to small-mindedness in some way. So that's part of temperance in the 8th position. People are helpful and they're valuable. They're going to help you turn something into, or get something useful or valuable out of the question, or out of what the question is about. The other thing is that because temperance can represent alchemy, if you temper metal, you heat it up to high temperature and it's red hot, and then you hammer it like a sword, and then you put it back in the flame and the heat and heat it up again. And the reason for doing this is the heat will help to burn off impurities, and the hammering will make the metal stronger. So if temperance is in the 8th position, the influence of other people might be difficult in that they expect a lot of you, or they're going to help you burn off impurities, or they're going to help you become stronger. But the actual process of becoming stronger can be not painful, but it can be, I can't think of the word, upsetting, maybe upsetting. It can be demanding, okay, because you put the metal back in the heat and burn and turn it red hot again, and then you hammer it. You know, if you imagine that's you're being put in a situation that is awkward or difficult, but you've got to stay there and let the transformation take place. So with temperance in the 8th position, the influence for other people can be demanding, but if it's upright, it's ultimately worthwhile because you become stronger and you become better at dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with. The other thing is temperance can represent moderation. There used to be the temperance movement, where it was anti-alcohol in the 20s, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, so temperance can represent moderation. And so maybe what you get with temperance in the 8th position is people are encouraging you to be moderate in your behavior, or to moderate, to change your behavior, to improve it. So if the cards up until the 8th one have shown the person's stubborn and difficult and selfish, really selfish, then temperance in the 8th position can show that people will encourage you to be less selfish and maybe take more account of the feelings and opinions of other people, or to be less independent, and so let other people in, or maybe get them involved in making decisions instead of having to do it all on your own. Or it could be the opposite. If the cards up until the 8th position have shown the person is overly dependent on other people, because sometimes we are. We don't know what to do, so we look to other people to tell us. And for some people, that's a lifelong problem, that they can't make up their own mind about anything, and they always want somebody to tell them what to do. So if the cards up until the 8th position have shown somebody who is overly dependent on other people, then the temperance card there can show that they will encourage you to make some small decisions on your own, rather than always your default position may be to look to other people for answers, or for suggestions, or for what kind of behavior you should exhibit. Maybe you do a little bit more on your own, or do a little bit more for yourself, and do what pleases you, or what would make you happy, rather than always thinking, I can't do anything until I've checked that everybody's going to be happy with this particular decision. So in the short version is, you already know about people and what kind of influence they can have, and some of it's good, some of it's bad, or some of it's good, some of it's not so good. So knowing that, keep that in the back of your mind, and then turn the card and look at the card to see if you imagine friendly, helpful, cooperative, difficult, pushy, And you've got a whole long list of possible ways of behaving, and you get a little checkbox beside each one. You turn the card and you mentally go through your list and you tick off the boxes that apply to that particular card. So you've got a list in your mind. You already know it. So what kind of behavior does the card point to? So if it's the sun upright, then people are supportive, encouraging, helpful. Whereas if it's the devil reversed, then are other people, it's a bit like people are going to, maybe what you do is ignore other people because they probably don't have your best interests at heart. They may think they do, but one way or another, either they don't really have your interests at heart, or they're not going to be able, for one reason or another, to follow through with what they promised, because that can be a reverse card as well. It's not that people are being deliberately deceptive or deliberately trying to cause you problems, but it can be that they honestly want to help, but something comes up that they can't. So a reverse card can be a glitch or a delay. And the reader doesn't need to know. You just need to tell the questioner, okay, you're expecting this, but the card is upside down, so you may need to be patient and give it a little bit longer than you think or than you expect. Okay, I'm just looking at the recording taking place. Okay, the second question, or the second thing, had to do with, I mentioned in an earlier video that knights are messengers, not pages. Pages aren't messengers. And somebody commented that she had been using pages as messengers for years and she got good information from it and it works. So as far as she's concerned, pages represent messengers. So do what works for you, by all means. So, however, if you're on the fence about pages or knights as messengers, whatever your position is, let me mention a couple of things that may help. Ideally, will help you come to a conclusion about messengers and what cards represent them. So pages represent young people and children. And so my question is, if a child gives you a message, to what extent are you going to trust it? Because they can have got it wrong, or they can have forgotten the important point of the message. So if a child gives you a message, how much do you trust it to be an accurate message? If you had to give somebody a message, would you send a child? Maybe you would. So it occurred to me when I was thinking about this, children who haven't been damaged by life yet, children will come out and they'll just tell the truth as they see it. And usually, or often, it's the actual truth, unblemished, unfettered. It's just true. So in that way, pages can represent people who maybe just tell the truth, whether it's embarrassing or not, or whether other people have their feelings hurt or not. Because children can, I don't want to say children can be cruel, but sometimes the honest truth can be difficult to hear or difficult to accept. So maybe that, if you've got a message of truth, unvarnished truth, maybe that's what you get through a page. It's a message, yes, but it's not a message in the way that maybe you've got important information that you want to pass on to somebody else. Because if you've got important message you want to pass on to somebody else, why not give it to a young man on a horse who's got armor and who can protect himself? Somehow, if you've got, let's say you've got a document that you're sending, you send it overnight FedEx or UPS or something like that, some company that specializes in getting messages from point A to point B and making sure they're delivered on time. So it depends what kind of message you're looking at or looking for. But somehow, if it's an important message, I think it's more likely to come through a night, because knights are young and youthful and they're on horseback, so they can travel distances. Do you know what I mean? It's like if I've got a 4-year-old and a 19-year-old on a horse or on a bike, who am I going to give the message to? And trust that it's going to get through, or with a better chance of a successful delivery of the message. And from that point of view, I think I go with knights rather than pages. Okay, so that's it for the moment. I'll do numerology next, but it might end up being quite long. And I didn't want to switch to numerology having spoken like this for a bit. Okay, so thanks for watching. Next will be numerology, and then after that I'll look at the 10th card in a Celtic Cross. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.